For the next 2 weeks after their first date, Alex became a different person. He woke up smiling. He went to work early. He came home humming. He even started eating breakfast again, something he hadn't done since his heartbreak abroad. Whenever Valerie texted him good morning, he carried the happiness like a trophy the entire day. Whenever she sent good night, his sleep became sweeter. Whenever she called him Alex, his chest warmed like fire. Meanwhile, his mother made her findings and found out it was her cleaner's daughter that was making his rich son happy, and she was mad. She called Mary, insulted the living daylights out of her, collected Valerie's number, and then she did the unthinkable. Valerie called Alex immediately and sounded urgent, so he drove down to the school. Valerie couldn't breathe. Her phone trembled in her hand. Alex touched her shoulder gently. "Valerie, talk to me. What happened?" She handed him the phone with weak fingers. He read the message. "Don't talk to Alex again. Stay away from him. Whatever you have with him, kill it and bury it." Alex's face changed. "Valerie, please don't listen to her. You know I love you, right?" Valerie shook her head. "I don't know," but she knew. Her heart knew. "Alex, I need to go now." "Why?" he asked softly. Valerie didn't answer, because she didn't trust her voice and she didn't trust her emotions. If she opened her mouth, she might cry. She took a step back. Alex took a step forward. "Valerie, please look at me." She looked up slowly. Alex's eyes were full of worry. "Don't shut me out," he whispered. "Please." "Ovlies in tow." She blinked hard, fighting tears. "I'm not shutting you out," she said softly. I just need to understand what's going on." And then she walked away. Alex stood there watching her. The next day, she went to see her mother. "Mummy, what is going on?" Mary held her daughter's hands tightly. "Baby, please listen carefully." Madame Margaret found out. Valerie's throat closed. "Oh God." Mary nodded, her eyes red. She shouted, "She insulted me and she insulted you. She said you are trapping her son. She said we are poor and you are not in the same class with her son." Valerie covered her mouth in shock. "No, she didn't." "She did," Mary whispered, "and she told me to warn you and to tell you to leave Alex alone." Tears filled Valerie's eyes. "But, Mummy, I didn't do anything. I didn't ask him to like me. I didn't." Mary quickly hugged her. "I know, my child. I know you didn't. But they don't care. People like them, they don't want their son marrying someone like us." Valerie cried silently on her mother's shoulder. Mary stroked her hair. "My daughter, I don't want them to hurt you. I don't want them to embarrass you. And I don't want them to make you feel small." Valerie shook her head. "I don't feel small, Mummy. Alex never made me feel small." Mary sighed deeply. "But his parents will." Later that evening, Valerie sat alone on her bed. Her phone buzzed. "Alex, are you home?" She didn't reply. 10 minutes later, "Alex, Valerie, please, say something." Her tears fell because she knew the truth now. She had stepped into a world that didn't want her. A world that believed love belonged only to people with matching bank accounts. Her phone buzzed again. "Please don't push me away." She closed her eyes tightly. Another message came. "Valerie, I like you and nothing will change that." More tears. Valerie typed slowly. "Alex, please, we need to stop. She didn't send it. Her heart screamed no, but her fear whispered yes. She deleted it. Instead, she typed, "I'm home." Alex replied immediately. "Can I call you?" Valerie wiped her face. "No, not tonight." Alex's reply came slowly this time, like his heart was heavy. "Okay, but Valerie, I'm not letting you go." Meanwhile, back in the Hall mansion, Alex walked into the living room. Margaret stood up immediately. "Alex, we need to talk." He raised one eyebrow. "About what?" Richard cleared his throat. "About the girl." Alex's chest tightened. "What girl?" he asked calmly. Margaret snapped. "Mary's daughter." A long silence filled the room. Alex's jaw clenched slightly. "So you already know?" "Yes!" Margaret shouted. "And Alex, how could you? A cleaner's child? You're a Hall, a billionaire. You can't bring shame to this family." Alex inhaled deeply. He didn't shout. He didn't shake. And he didn't panic. He simply said, "Her name is Valerie." Margaret flared up. "I don't care about her name." Alex stepped closer. "Well, you should." "Alex," Richard barked. "Stop this madness." Alex faced them squarely. "I'm not a child. I won't allow you to insult a girl you know nothing about." Margaret's voice broke. "We want the best for you." Alex's voice softened but grew firmer. "And I want Valerie." Margaret gasped. Richard dropped his glasses. Alex continued. "If you try to stand in my way, you will lose me." In the Bedtime, the room went silent. Margaret's hands shook. Richard stepped back. "Alex," his mother whispered, almost crying. "You don't mean that?" Alex swallowed painfully. "I do." Then he walked away quietly, leaving his parents frozen in shock. Outside the mansion, he stepped into the cool night and dialed Valerie's number. She didn't pick. He tried again and again. Finally, she answered, her voice small, tired, and shaky. "Hello?" Alex exhaled shakily. "Valerie, I know what happened. I know what my parents did." A tear fell down Valerie's cheek. "Alex, please, this is too much for me to handle." "No, baby, it's not." Valerie sniffed. "I don't want you to fight your parents because of me." Alex closed his eyes. "I will fight anyone for you. Please, Valerie, don't leave me." She covered her mouth and cried silently because she didn't want to leave him. She didn't want to stop talking to him. And she didn't want to lose the only man who ever saw her beyond her background. But she also didn't want to destroy his family. "Alex, give me time," she whispered. Alex's heart sank. "Time for what?" She wiped her tears. "To think, to breathe, and to understand what all this means." Alex swallowed hard. "Okay," he said softly. "But Valerie, I'm not going anywhere." And he meant it. The next morning, Valerie woke up with swollen eyes. She had cried until sleep forced her to rest. She went back to school and her roommates noticed. Tessa shook her gently. "Valerie, what happened? Why do your eyes look like Puff Puff?" Valerie tried to smile, but failed. "Nothing." Tessa raised her eyebrows. "It's Alex, right?" Valerie didn't answer. And that was answer enough. Tessa sat beside her. "Valerie, don't let anybody make you feel like you're not good enough for him." Valerie swallowed hard. "It's not about feeling good enough. It's about trouble. His parents are angry. They said we do not belong to the same class. My mum is scared. I don't want anyone to suffer because of me. Tessa exhaled sharply. Valerie, what does your heart want? Valerie whispered, almost ashamed. My heart wants Alex. Tessa hugged her. So fight for him. But Valerie wasn't sure she was strong enough. Meanwhile, in the Hall mansion, Margaret and Richard were in full panic mode. Margaret paced around the living room like a woman fighting invisible enemies. We cannot allow this. I repeat, we cannot allow this. Richard tried to calm her. Margaret, allow the boy to breathe. Breathe, she yelled. With a cleaner's daughter sitting on his oxygen? Over my dead body. At that exact moment, Alex came downstairs, adjusting his wristwatch. Good morning, he said calmly. Margaret rushed to him. Alex, sit. We need to talk. Alex didn't sit. He didn't even slow down. I'm running late. Margaret blocked his path. You will not leave this house until we discuss that girl. Alex raised one eyebrow. That girl has a name, Mum. Margaret's chest burned. So she has bewitched you to this point? Alex inhaled deeply. I'm not bewitched. I'm in love. Richard stood up sharply. Alex, behave yourself. Alex finally faced them. I love Valerie. Margaret held the wall. Richard dropped back on the sofa. Alex continued. I'm not ashamed of her. I'm not hiding her. And I'm not apologizing. Margaret swallowed painfully. Alex, do you want to disgrace us by loving someone? He asked quietly. By choosing a girl with no class, she shouted. No pedigree. No background, and no name. Alex's jaw tightened. She has a name, and a very good one. Valerie, and trust me, she has more dignity than half the girls your friends brought here. Margaret gasped like he stabbed her. Richard tried another tactic. Alex, listen to us. You're a billionaire. Upper class. You can't marry from down there. Alex looked his father in the eyes. Then maybe your definition of up there is the real problem. We will not accept this, and we will stop it, his mother said. Alex nodded slowly. I expected that. He walked toward the door. Margaret shouted, Where are you going? Alex answered, without turning back, to see Valerie. But he didn't see Valerie that morning, because Valerie did not pick his calls. And she did not reply his messages. Alex sent, Valerie, I'm outside your department. No reply. Valerie, please, I just want to talk. No reply. He waited for almost an hour. Still nothing. His chest began hurting. He called again. She declined the call. He called again. This time her phone was switched off. Valerie was hiding in the school library. She sat between two tall shelves, hugging her bag tightly. Her heart felt heavy. She didn't want to hurt Alex. She didn't want to push him away, but she was terrified. Her mother's tears, his parents' insults, the threats, the fear of destroying his life, the fear of being blamed for breaking a rich family. It was too much. She covered her face. God, why me? She whispered. Why now? Why this kind of trouble? Her tears fell silently. She wished she had never gone to help her mother that day. She wished she had never stepped into his study. She wished she had never looked into his eyes. But she also knew if she had the chance to choose again, she would still choose Alex. And that was what scared her most. Meanwhile, Margaret was not done. One day, she called her wealthy friend, Mrs. Carter, The woman arrived that evening with her daughter, Amelia, a beautiful girl, always dressed like she lived on magazine covers. Margaret smiled proudly. "Amelia, dear, Alex is inside. Go and greet him warmly." Amelia grinned. "Don't worry, Auntie. I know how to catch him." She walked confidently to the study. Alex was inside, staring at Valerie's last message from 2 days ago. Amelia entered without knocking. "Hi, Alex," she said sweetly. Alex looked up, confused. "Oh, Amelia." "Hi." She sat too close to him. "So, your mum said you're single. I don't believe that." Alex frowned. "What did she tell you to do?" Amelia giggled and touched his arm. "Relax now. I just want us to get to know each other." Alex removed her hand gently. "I'm sorry, Amelia. I'm not interested." Amelia blinked. "Why? Do you have someone already?" Alex didn't answer. He didn't need to. His silence told her everything. Amelia stood up angrily. "So you refused me because of some small girl?" Alex finally looked her straight in the eye. "Yes." Amelia gasped. She stormed out of the study, almost knocking Margaret down. Margaret ran inside immediately. "Alex, what have you done?" Alex didn't raise his head. "I told you I'm not interested." Margaret's voice broke into a cry. "She's a billionaire's daughter, Alex. A perfect match." Alex finally looked up, eyes cold. "Mum, I don't want a perfect match. I want Valerie." Margaret burst into tears. Richard came in and held her, but Alex stood up, walked past both of them and said, "You can bring 1,000 rich girls. I will still choose Valerie." Then he left the mansion, and this time he drove straight to Valerie's hostel. Alex arrived at Valerie's school with his heart pounding like a drum someone was beating without mercy. He called her, but it was switched off. He placed his hands on his waist and closed his eyes. "Valerie? Where are you?" Meanwhile, Valerie was seated on the floor inside the library archives, the quietest corner nobody visited. She wanted to read, but each time, tears voluntarily flows. She wasn't crying because Alex loved her. She was crying because life wasn't fair, because his parents didn't even know her, yet they hated her, because her mother had suffered insult because of her, because she knew the world did not treat rich and poor the same, and because she felt she was dragging Alex into trouble he didn't deserve. She wiped her face again and again, but new tears kept falling. "Why did I fall for him?" she whispered. "I should have stayed away. I should have known this would happen." But she didn't stay away. She couldn't. Alex had become her peace, her happiness, her smile, and losing him felt like someone tearing a soft part of her heart with their bare hands. Alex finally saw someone he knew. "Tessa," he called urgently. "Please, where is Valerie?" Tessa looked at him, really looked at him, and saw something she didn't expect. Sincerity, fear, and love. She stepped closer. "She's inside the library. Can you take me there?" he asked desperately. Tessa did. As they got in, students were reading. They checked around but couldn't find her. Being that he was so desperate to see her, he walked to the far left, past the shelves, past the thick books, past the dusty corner, and then he saw her sitting on the floor, crying silently. Alex felt his chest break into two. He approached her slowly, like someone approaching a wounded dove. "Valerie," he whispered. She didn't look up. He knelt down beside her, close enough to feel her pain. "Valerie!" he whispered again, voice cracking this time. She lifted her face. Her eyes were red, her cheeks were wet, and her lips trembled. "Alex, please go," she whispered. "Please." "I don't want trouble." Alex shook his head slowly. "I'm not going anywhere." She looked away. "Alex, your parents hate me." "No," he said firmly. "They don't know you." "They don't want to know me," she cried. "They think I'm after your money. They think I'm trapping you. And they think I'm dirt." Alex swallowed painfully. "That's their ignorance. Not your fault." Valerie covered her face with both palms. "I can't drag you into this. Your mother threatened my mum. She insulted her, and she said horrible things." Alex closed his eyes, fighting anger. "I'm so sorry," he whispered. "I'm so sorry." Valerie shook her head. "I don't want your family to hate you because of me." Alex took a deep breath. Then he reached out and held her hand. "Valerie," he said quietly, "look at me." She did. Her eyes were full of fear. His were full of love. "I choose you," he said firmly. "Not by mistake, not by accident, not because I'm confused, but because I want you." Valerie tried to pull her hand away. Alex held it tighter. "Listen to me," he whispered. "If loving you brings war, then let there be war." Valerie gasped. "Alex, no, let me finish," he said softly. "All my life, people have chosen for me, chose the school I attended, chose the friends I kept, chose the business I should run, chose the parties I should attend." He moved closer. "But you are the first choice I made for myself." Valerie's tears flowed again, not from pain this time, but from the overwhelming sincerity in his voice. Alex wiped her cheeks gently. "I will talk to my parents," he said. "Not to beg, but to tell them the truth." "What truth?" she whispered. "That I love you." Valerie looked at him, shocked, not because she didn't feel it, but because she never believed he would admit it first. Alex squeezed her hand. "I'm not scared at all," he murmured. "You are worth every fight. You are worth every argument, and you are worth every risk." Valerie shook her head slowly. "Alex, I'm still scared." "I know," he whispered. "That's why I'm here. I'll carry the fear with you, both of us, together." She closed her eyes and sobbed quietly. Alex pulled her into his chest. She didn't resist. She let him hold her, let his comfort melt into her fear, and let his heartbeat calm hers. For the first time in days, she didn't feel alone. She felt protected, wanted, chosen, and safe. Tessa peeked in and covered her mouth with both hands. "Jesus, this is love," she whispered. When Alex finally helped Valerie stand, he held her hand tightly. "Valerie," he said softly, "I'm going to speak to my parents tonight, and I'm not leaving their room until they understand." Valerie looked into his eyes. "But what if they don't agree?" Alex smiled gently. "Then I will walk away from them." Valerie's entire body shook. You will leave your family?" Alex nodded. "For you, yes." Valerie's tears flowed again, but this time they were tears of love. Deep, powerful, and undeniable love. Alex drove home with fire in his chest. He had held Valerie in his arms. He had felt her fear tremble against his heartbeat. He had seen the damage his parents had caused, and he wasn't going to allow it again. The moment he stepped into the mansion, he dropped his car key with a soft thud, a thud that carried quiet rage. The house servants looked at him and stepped aside quickly. This was not the calm, gentle Alex they knew. This was a man protecting the woman he loved. Margaret Hall sat in the living room, pretending to watch TV, but her eyes were restless. Her husband, Richard, was pretending to read a newspaper, but he hadn't turned a page in 30 minutes. They were waiting. They knew their son had gone to see her. Suddenly, they heard him approaching. Margaret swallowed. Richard cleared his throat. Alex walked into the living room. His expression was unreadable. Margaret stood up immediately. Alex. He raised one hand. Mum, we need to talk. Richard's eyes widened. Alex had never used that tone before. Never. Not in anger, not in disrespect, but in seriousness. It made the entire room freeze. Margaret forced a smile. Alex, sit down. Let's talk calmly. No, he said. We are going to talk here. Standing, Richard put his paper aside. Son, don't raise your voice. I'm not raising it, Alex replied softly. Margaret blinked. Alex, what did you say to Mary and her daughter? He cut in, voice sharp but controlled. Margaret looked away. Whatever I said was for your good. Alex stepped closer. Mum, tell me exactly what you told them. Margaret hesitated. Richard rubbed his forehead. Alex's voice hardened. I'm asking for the last time. Margaret finally said, I told the girl to leave you alone. I told Mary her daughter is not your class. And I told them to avoid you. Alex's jaw clenched. And you insulted them. Margaret looked down. Alex, I was angry, but I said what any responsible mother would say. That girl will only bring shame. Alex took a breath, a long, deep, controlled breath. Then he said it clearly. No, Mum. The only shame in this story is how you treated them. Margaret gasped. Alex, how dare you? Richard stood up. That's enough, Alex. Alex turned to him. No, it's not enough. I'm not done. His parents froze again. Alex's voice softened, but the softness was scarier than anger. You don't know Valerie. You don't know her heart, and you don't know her story. Yet you judged her because of where she comes from. He pointed to the marble floor. You think this house makes you better. He touched his chest. You think this money makes you wiser. He shook his head. No, it only made you blind. Margaret felt her chest tighten. Richard looked ashamed. Alex continued. Valerie is not after my money. She didn't even want to talk to me at first. I chased her. She told me to stay away because she didn't want problems. She wanted peace. Richard swallowed painfully. Alex cut him off again. She cried today because of you. Margaret sat down slowly, her hands shaking. Alex stepped closer. I love her. Margaret closed her eyes tightly. Richard whispered, Alex, don't say that. I will say it, Alex replied, and you will listen. I love Valerie. I am not confused. I am not rushing, and I am not blind. He paused. I am sure. Margaret's tears finally fell. Alex, please, don't do this. Alex shook his head. I am doing it. He pointed toward the door. And if choosing Valerie means walking out of this house, I will do it Without looking back, Margaret cried harder. Richard grabbed the arm of the chair for support. This was the moment they feared the most. Their only son choosing love over family. Just then, unexpectedly, someone walked in. Grandma Evelyn, Richard's mother, Alex's grandmother, the only person Margaret feared. She had been listening to every single word. Everyone froze. Grandma Evelyn stepped forward with her walking stick. "Alex," she said gently, "come here." Alex walked to her quickly, kissed her forehead, and held her hand. She smiled at him. Then she turned to Margaret, and her smile disappeared. "What nonsense am I hearing?" Grandma Evelyn boomed. Margaret stammered. Mama, please." Grandma raised one finger. "Shut your mouth," Richard coughed. "Mother, you too." "Shut up," she snapped. Alex looked surprised. Grandma Evelyn turned to him sweetly. "Alex, my child, tell me about this girl." Alex breathed out. "She's kind, Grandma. She's humble. She's respectful. She's brilliant. And she's everything I have ever wanted." Grandma nodded like she already expected that. Then she faced Margaret again. "So you, Margaret Hall, insulted a girl your son chose? A girl who did nothing wrong? A girl who helped her mother clean your house?" Margaret cried. "I was only protecting our family's image." Grandma slammed her walking stick on the floor. "Silence!" Margaret jumped. Grandma continued. "When I married into this family, I was a teacher. Your husband's father was a big businessman. People insulted me. They laughed." Richard looked shocked. "Mum." "Yes," she snapped. "People mocked me. They said I was beneath the Hall name. I had no money, no big family, just good character." She raised her chin proudly. "And guess what? I became the backbone of this family." Margaret covered her mouth. Grandma Evelyn pointed at her. "And you, a woman who was not born rich, now insulting another girl who is just like you were?" Margaret broke down completely. "No, Mama, I didn't mean—" "You did," Grandma said sharply, "and you will apologize." Richard tried to speak. "Mother, let's calm down." Grandma glared at him. "You too. You owe that girl and her mother an apology." Alex's eyes filled with gratitude. Grandma stepped closer to him. "My son, if Valerie is your choice, then she is my choice." Alex blinked fast, overwhelmed. "And if anyone tries to break you two apart," Grandma continued, "I will deal with them myself." Margaret cried harder. Richard bowed his head. Grandma Evelyn wiped Alex's cheek gently. "Go back to your girl. Tell her she is welcome in this family." Alex hugged his grandmother tightly. "Thank you, Grandma. Thank you." She smiled. "I raised you well. Now go and bring Valerie home." Now tell me, dear viewers, do you think Margaret and Richard will listen to Grandma? And do you also think Alex will win this battle of love? Kindly share with me in the comment, and please don't forget to like, share and subscribe. See you in the final episode of this story. Goodbye.